On February 24, there's a full moon in Virgo making an opposition to Mercury and Saturn in Pisces. Over the last few weeks, you may have chosen a new direction and made different choices, and now Mercury and Saturn bring the obstacles. What does this mean for you? That's what we're going to talk about. Hi everyone, I'm Donna Stellhorn, your practical astrologer, and we're going to do a short overview, and then we're going to go sign by sign. So let's talk about this full moon. I was listening to a podcast with serial entrepreneur Alex Hormozi, and he was talking about the cycle that people go through. And that is, many of us see an opportunity that looks exciting, fun, and easy, and this might be for a change of lifestyle or a new job or a new business. And we're in a period which he calls uninformed optimism, which means that we get very excited about it and we stop doing what we're doing so that we can start this new thing. And then after a little bit, we move on to stage 2. Now in stage 2, we're no longer as excited about it. We go into a period that he calls informed pessimism. And that is that we realize that this is going to be a long process and a lot more work than we thought, and that we have a lot to learn. Now, this is having a more realistic view of the opportunity. Then there is stage 3, which he calls the valley of despair. And that's when we realize that nothing is working, we don't know what we're doing, and we are just feeling really stuck. It's so much harder than we expected. And this is the point where most people jump to the next opportunity and back into uninformed optimism. But the real solution for us all is to push through the valley of despair, to keep pushing on things, making an effort, making the climb, so that we can get better at what it is we're trying to do, and so that we can make improvements along the way. Now, in this chart, this cycle is so strong because Mercury represents thought processes, and Saturn, of course, represents the valley of despair that only through hard work can we climb out of. Normally with the cycle of the moon, we start on the new moon, and that is that you have an idea, and that might be for a party. And so you invite the guests and you clean up the house and you make the hors d'oeuvres, and then the full moon is the culmination of energies, and that would be the party. But this particular full moon is opposing Saturn. And so therefore, instead of a party, this is your realization that you don't want your job anymore, you don't want to live where you do anymore, you want to change your relationship, and you've gotten to the point where now you're at the hard part. But the bottom line is if it was easy, then everyone would be doing it. And if everyone is doing it, then there's no opportunity for profit or success or growth. Now, Saturn is all about lessons, and Saturn is bringing us a lesson that we can improve over time. And this is a Virgo full moon, and Virgo is about process and how to make something incrementally better. So when we bring these two together, we have the opportunity to improve. According to Saturn, we all give up too easily and we give up too early. So on this full moon, if you're feeling like you are in the valley of despair, or at least in that section of informed pessimism, instead of looking for the next shiny object or the next thing to do, try to push through the hard part now. And that means if you are looking for a love relationship, the solution is to go meet more people. If you want a better relationship, communicate more, define your terms, put yourself in the other person's shoes. If you want to expand your business, go get more customers. If you want to improve your job, get more skills. These are all very Saturnian things. They're very basic, and they are the hard part. But with this, there can be incredible rewards. So in this video, we are doing tropical Western astrology. Listen to your rising sign or your ascending sign. This is going to give you the most accurate picture of what's going to be happening. If you don't know your rising sign, send me your birth information and I will send you a PDF of your chart. There's a link in the description. If you would like to know more about what's going on for you in 2024, I do readings. There is a link in the description. And also I have a video course out. It's called Finding the Hidden Money in Your Chart. This is a course for people who want to learn some astrology and want to improve their financial picture. This is going to teach you about your second house, 8th house, and 11th house, and how to uncover the information about the planets and the rulerships of those houses. Even if you don't have planets in those houses, you can still make a lot of money. This course talks a lot about those details as well as the bigger concepts. There is a link in the description. Okay, let's go sign by sign. Okay, Aries, you guys are doing this full moon, lighting up your house of routines and habits and how you do things from day to day, basically what your productivity is. And this is sitting opposite Mercury and Saturn. And so it's a Virgo full moon, which already says look at the details and, break things down so that you can tweak them to make them more predictive. And then sitting opposite Mercury, which is about plans, and Saturn, which is about discipline, pulls this all together that says that you have an opportunity right now to be on task, to be focused, and to make some adjustments in your routines to make them so much better. Now, when it comes to love relationships, specifically new love, Mars is making a semi-sextile to Mercury, plus Mars is sitting there conjunct Venus. So there is an opportunity here. Now, there is this sense that maybe your attention is elsewhere because we were talking about your productivity and your routines. But if you can put in a little bit of social activities, networking, or just going out and meeting with friends, but being in social situations, you could meet someone for a love relationship. Now, when it comes to existing love relationships, Venus is making a conjunction with Mars. That means the two of you are more in harmony than usual, that you are on the same page. And one of the things you could do is go be around other couples as a couple, because then you could see the difference and get compliments, and this can encourage you to do more things that are good for you too as a couple. Now, when it comes to your money, you're pulling money from that Venus, which is conjunct the Mars in the house of technology. That means to look for different ways that you can offload some of the daily tasks into technology, or maybe even, getting a virtual assistant, or, something to help you streamline the process. But especially looking at ways that you could use technology to either directly make money or to make the processes that you do to make money easier. That's what this energy is talking about. Then when it comes to money from business or from investments, even though Venus is not making an aspect with Pluto, it is conjunct Mars, it is likely you are going to be making more money over this next 2 weeks. So look around for it. When you're doing an aspect that says more money, you still have to put in the effort to say, okay, where is it? Because otherwise you get small amounts. This could mean big amounts, but you do have to put in the effort. Now, when it comes to money derived from career, so that's like a paycheck, Venus is in that house, which really helps. And it's making no aspect to Uranus, but a semi-sextile to Saturn. So this is something where if you bring it up and you do the small steps necessary, maybe to get the meeting happening, or maybe there's extra paperwork, or you have to bring to the table a list of what you've accomplished, those sort of things, those little things can really help. And then you could end up making more money over the next 2 weeks. Okay, Taurus, you're doing this full moon, lighting up your house of risk-taking and creativity. It is sitting opposite that Mercury and Saturn. And so there is this dynamic going on in your life where you're normally about careful planning and going step by step. And it may be time to either accelerate that process or maybe even skip some of the process just so you don't miss an opportunity. And that can be a relationship opportunity, or it can be something with your creativity, or it could be something in business. But the bottom line is, look at the speed you're going. You may not be going fast enough because you are naturally trying to be careful. And being careful is still good, but maybe you can still pick up the pace because an opportunity is right here. Now, when it comes to love relationships, specifically new love, even though Venus is not making an aspect with Mercury, this is where the full moon is. So this area is lit up for you. And so even if it doesn't bring you new love, it brings you information about what you could do to bring love into your life. And so that could be that a friend tells you and something that's very important advice, or you start to look in a different location, maybe not online, maybe in person. So there's something that could shift during this 2-week period that is a game changer when it comes to love. Now, when it comes to existing love relationships, even though Venus is not making an aspect with Pluto, it's conjunct Mars. So the two of you are more in step than usual. And so if your relationship is good, it's a little bit better. If your relationship has been rocky, now you're reaching a point where you can have better communication, where you can get things done. And that means that you can strengthen this relationship, even if it has been giving you trouble in the past. Now, when it comes to your money, you're pulling money from that Mercury, which is part of this whole full moon, and it is sitting in that area of community. So it's really important to network right now, to reach out to other people. And maybe it's because you have something to sell, maybe you need some help, maybe you just need some ideas or some support. But that's what you can get with this energy over this next 2 weeks. Now, when it comes to money from business or from investments, even though Mercury's not making an aspect with Jupiter, Mercury is in Pisces, and Pisces is co-ruled by Jupiter. So you have a hidden relationship. And so, in my course on hidden money, finding the hidden money in your chart, this is one of the things that you need to focus on, is all the hidden ways there could be a connection. And so this is an example of that, where there could be money, but you need to dig for it a little bit. And that is, you maybe need to look through investments, or look through business opportunities, or listen to somebody talk about business, and that might stimulate some idea in your head that then changes how you're doing your business. Now, when it comes to money derived from career, so that would be like a paycheck, Mercury's making a semi-sextile to Neptune. Plus, Mercury is in that house. The full moon is part of this whole dynamic. And so there's a really good chance that you could make more money in your job. And that could be from negotiating for when you're getting a new job, so you're negotiating for a higher salary, or because you are talking to your supervisor already, and then they're saying, ta-da, here it is. So I think you have very good possibilities over this next 2 weeks. Okay, Gemini, you're doing this full moon energy right at the base of your chart, and it's sitting opposite Mercury and Saturn. And so what this is indicating is you could build the life that you want, but you need a strong foundation to start with. And that foundation might be emergency fund, or good contacts with family, or a place that is your home base, or it is maybe the foundation of your principles or your ideas. And from there you can build this monument that is your life. So that's the good energy that you're doing right now. Now, when it comes to love relationships, specifically new love, Mercury is not making an aspect to Venus. However, they're both very elevated in your chart. And that means that maybe you looking doesn't produce the results, but if you just go someplace where you can be seen, then you can be found. And so try to be social, try to get out, go to the middle of the room and just sit and see who is attracted to you, who is approaching you. Now, when it comes to existing love relationships, Mercury is not making an aspect with Jupiter. However, Mercury is in Pisces, which is co-ruled by Jupiter, so you have a hidden connection. And that means that it may be important over this next 2 weeks to go back to why you two got together. What are the things that you are still attracted to your partner about? Why are they attracted to you? What are your connections that may not be so visible in the day-to-day things that you're doing? This can help strengthen your relationship. Now, when it comes to your money, you're pulling money from that moon that's at the base of your chart, sitting opposite Mercury and Saturn, and they say get a plan. Mercury loves the plan, Saturn loves the discipline, and so this is a time where when it comes to your money, you already have the ideas. You know the things you want to do. Now is the time to break it down, maybe put it into your schedule or a checklist or something so that you can find the individual things that you need to do and get those done. And that's what's going to lead you to success. Now, when it comes to money from business or money from investments, the moon's making an opposition to Saturn, so you have a direct relationship between these two forces. That means that you can sit down and negotiate for what you want. You can, ask people to pay you, and they do. So it's all about negotiation. You want to look for the win-win because it's an opposition. You don't want to go in with guns a-blazing. You want to say, how can we work this out? And then something can be. Now, when it comes to money derived from career, so that's like a paycheck, the moon's making an inconjunct to Mars, which means that you may be feeling a little bit of some impatience or even some anger towards the situation going on at work and how you're being compensated. So watch out for this if you are approaching someone for a raise, because you might be a little bit hair-triggered during this time. Okay, Cancer, you're doing this full moon, lighting up your house of communication and information, and they're sitting opposite Mercury. It is sitting opposite Mercury and Saturn. And Mercury is about information and communication, but Saturn is about narrowing a focus and being disciplined and maybe going deep rather than wide. And so some of this is you're taking in probably a lot of information, as we all are, but maybe it's time to stop and process some of that, or to really go deep into a particular subject so that you can gain some expertise or some real understanding about that, rather than just doing a surface glide over a lot of information. Now, when it comes to love relationships, specifically new love, the moon's making an inconjunct to Pluto. That means that you could meet someone for a love relationship, but they're not who you were expecting. They're not your type, or there is something different about them that you hadn't considered. Maybe there's a big age difference or something else, they live really far away or something. So it's an opportunity, and maybe it breaks you out of a routine, but they are not who you expect. Now, when it comes to existing love relationships, the moon's making an opposition to Saturn. That means that the two of you are on opposite sides, and you need to come together to find some common ground. And this could be a very specific topic that is a point of contention, or just in general that you are moving at a distance from each other, and that distance is getting wider. And so you're going to have to work to come together, and you start by finding that basic common ground between the two of you, and that can help strengthen the relationship. Now, when it comes to your money, you're pulling money from the sun, which is sitting there between Mercury and Saturn. And that says that when we're dealing with money matters, that something needs to be official. Something might need to be a contract. If you have a business partner, maybe things have to be in writing. Maybe you have to go and get your license or get your LLC, or you have to do something that is official, and then that helps move you forward. Maybe it's securing your domain name. Maybe it's putting your website up. But it's a structured thing that is done. It's a normal convention for business. Now, when it comes to money from business and from investments, even though the sun's not making an aspect to Uranus, it is conjunct Saturn, and that means that there is money to be made. You have a very strong money house this time, and so if somebody owes you money, it's time to collect, practice your sales pitch, tell people about what you're selling. This is a time where you can make some money. Then, when it comes to money derived from career, so that's like a paycheck, the sun's making a semi-sextile to Venus. And Venus is in a money house, but this is more like getting a perk instead of getting a raise. So you might get a gift card, or a discount on insurance, or some other benefit, and that is possible. And so if that's what you're going for, this is the time to ask. But if you're really looking for a salary increase, you might want to wait until this aspect lines up better in the future. Okay, Leo, you are doing this full moon in your house of money, sitting opposite Mercury and Saturn in another house of money. And this is all about how you're taking care of your money, how you're thinking about money. It is, what's your personal philosophy about money? Are you keeping a budget? And because Mercury wants a plan, Saturn wants discipline, and that is what's sitting opposite right now, your desire to make more money. And so if you can make friends with the plan and the discipline, then more money comes in. Now, when it comes to love relationships, specifically new love, the sun's making a lovely sextile to Jupiter. You have a really nice relationship house. You have a good house of intimacy. This is a great time to go out on a first date, second date, go meet new people, engage a matchmaker, tell your friends you want to meet someone. You have really good energy this time. Now, when it comes to existing love relationships, you do have a good relationship house, but the sun's not making an aspect to Uranus. It's only making a conjunction to Saturn. And so the energy here is, it's okay. It's almost like if you can focus on the things you need to do and not so much on the relationship or what the other person should be doing, I think that things will go pretty well. But if you are very much focused on what they should be doing or what you think they should be doing, then there could be some points of contention during this time. Now, when it comes to your money, you're pulling money from Mercury, which is sitting in your house of resources. And so it's time to look at all the different resources that are available to you. Now, you might be thinking in a very limited fashion of, I can't borrow money, or, I can borrow money, but it's a really high interest rate. It's time to look at all of the different resources that could be available to you. And so you might want to make a list or go on ChatGPT and say, what are the available resources? Check with friends. Maybe they have an idea, maybe they know someone. Those are resources as well. Now, when it comes to money from business and from investments, Mercury's making a semi-sextile to Neptune, which is not a very strong aspect, but the house is lit up. And so you do have very strong prospects for making more money through investments or through your business. So you definitely want to push in this area, because when you have the luck in an area, you want to push, because that's where the big gains come from. Now, when it comes to money from your career, so that would be like a paycheck, Mercury's making a conjunction to the sun, and the sun's making a conjunction to Saturn. And so there can be a little ripple effect of, yes, we can give you more money, but we're going to expect more out of you in the way of productivity or handling bigger projects or taking on more responsibility. And that, of course, could lead to more success, promotions, and things like that. So I think this could be a cascading benefit if you ask now. Okay, Virgo, this is your full moon. That means you're halfway through your lunar year, and this is entering your 3-month harvest period. That means that all of the things that you've been working on for the last 6 months, now is the time to really give them the push. So you've planted the seeds, you've cultivated, you've watered, you tended the garden. Now it's time to go in and start picking the fruit and, putting in the jars and putting in the freezer and all of that. So that's a time where you want to go out to people that you've met for business or personal things and say, let's get together, let's do something. Go be social, go connect with people. And that's what's going to ripple into success for you in a lot of different areas. Now, when it comes to love relationships, specifically new love, even though Mercury's not making an aspect with Saturn, your house of relationship is lit up. And so there is so many possibilities. Maybe it's a little bit less of you doing all of the heavy lifting. Maybe this is a little bit more of asking a friend to fix you up, or asking family members if they know someone, or to go to a matchmaker. Go to a singles event, but doing something like that could open a door to a new relationship. Now, when it comes to existing love relationships, again, your relationship houses look really good. Mercury's making a semi-sextile to Neptune, and that means that sometimes you can get tripped up on the little things. And this is an interesting one because it's an out-of-sign semi-sextile. And so both Mercury and Neptune are in Pisces. And so it kind of feels like you're saying the same thing, but the meaning of it is different. And that's what gives you problems later. So this is a really good time to work on your communication, define your terms so that you both are on the same page, and that will help smooth things out in the future. Now, when it comes to your money, you're pulling money from your house of work and routines, and it's conjunct Mars. And so that is taking massive action towards your goals is what's going to bring success. And to take massive action without working yourself to death, it means coming up with systems and processes that are streamlined so that you are the most efficient possible. And that's what this energy is about this time. Now, when it comes to money from business or from your investments, Venus is making a conjunction with Mars. So you do the work, you find the profits. You ask for the sale happens. You have such strong energy in this area. And when you have good luck, you want to give it a little push. That, because what good luck does is it reduces friction. And so when you give it a little push, it can sail much, much farther. Now, when it comes to money derived from career, so that's like a paycheck, the moon's making an inconjunct to Venus. Venus is in your house of work, so if you ask for a raise at this time, you are going to end up with more work. So be careful. It would be better if you're asking for a raise and you're asking them to adjust in some way, like they offer you 5% and you say, no, it's got to be 10%. You ask them to adjust, because otherwise, if you accept what they're offering you, they're going to also ask you to adjust in some way. So just keep an eye on that. Okay, Libra, you're doing this full moon, lighting up your house of the spiritual and the internal, and looking at, hidden compulsions and, your thoughts and how you connect with the universe. And this is sitting opposite that Mercury and Saturn. And so this is about combining something spiritual with maybe something daily, like a daily spiritual practice, and even taking it to the level of putting it in a habit tracker so that you can see that you do meditate every day, or you light a candle, or you're saying your affirmations on a regular basis. So this is also about looking at how you are disciplined in your daily life and how that affects you spiritually. If you're consuming a lot of media or sugar or something like that, then that could be throwing you off spiritually. And so that is to put your physical daily habits into line, and then spiritually you feel more connected. Now, when it comes to love relationships, specifically new love, even though Venus is not making an aspect with Uranus, it is making a semi-sextile to Saturn, and Venus is in that house. So there is some good energy here, but there's something where maybe you're meeting them through work, or you're in a work area, or they're work adjacent, like they supply your job or something like that. Or there's something about them that they are entering your daily life. And so like they're the barista that you see every day or something like that. So love is here, but it's connected to your life already. Now, when it comes to existing love relationships, the energy is quite good. Venus is conjunct Mars. It's in the house of fun and romance. So the two of you could have a really good time over this next 2 weeks. So, maximize that. Now, when it comes to your money, you're pulling money both from that Pluto and Mars. Both are in Aquarius. Both are sitting in your house of creativity and risk-taking. And so it is time to push a little bit. Let's say you do have your business all ready to go, but you haven't pushed the button to launch the website. Or maybe you're hesitating, talking to someone about your sales pitch, or telling someone you want to do a gallery showing, or debuting your band. This is a time to cross the line into now it's real. Now, when it comes to money from business or from investments, even though Venus is not making an aspect with Pluto, it is conjunct Mars. There are some real opportunities here. You might have to get a little creative on how you make the money. Maybe that's creative in an investing sort of way, like some different strategy of how you're taking the profits. But for business, it's more obvious. Do something creative, maybe with marketing, and you could see a boost in sales. Now, when it comes to money derived from career, so that's like a paycheck, the sun's making a semi-sextile to both Pluto and Mars. And so there is an opportunity. However, the sun is sitting in your house of work. And that means that when you do ask, you are going to get more work. And so if that's something that's going to help you prove yourself to get future raises or a better position, then you go for it. Otherwise, you might want to wait until this energy lines up better, which it will in a few weeks. Okay, Scorpio, you are doing this full moon in your house of community and involvement with others, finding your tribe, and they're sitting opposite the Mercury and Saturn. And so what this is really about is defining who it is you would like in your life, or defining what you bring to at the table when it comes to friendships. You know, sometimes I see people looking for a friend, but not necessarily wanting to be a friend. And so maybe going out into the community and offering what you do and then seeing what kind of connections you attract. So this is also a time to consider joining professional organizations or joining a hobby group that may have some sort of fee or some sort of requirements attached to it. Now, when it comes to love relationships, specifically new love, Pluto's making a sextile to Venus. This is an out of sign sextile. Yeah, I had to check. It is an out of sign sextile, but the full moon is incorporating this house, so you have really good energy right now for meeting someone. They may be a little different than you are expecting because of that out of sign energy, but there is still really strong possibilities for meeting someone for a love relationship. Now, when it comes to existing love relationships, Venus is not making an aspect to Pluto. However, it is conjunct Mars, and that's really good for harmony. It feels like the two of you are more in step. You might be coming together for a home project or dealing with something with a relative, but everything seems to be flowing in your existing love relationship right now. Now, when it comes to your money, you're pulling money from Jupiter, which is making a very nice square to that Venus and Mars at the base of your chart. And so that means that there are some things from family members that will give you a boost in business or in money. That could be a direct investment into what you're doing from family, or it could be that somebody introduces you, a family member introduces you to the people they know that could buy from you or help you with your business in some way. When it comes to money derived from business or from investments, Mercury is not making an aspect with Jupiter. So things are just kind of status quo. Perhaps it's too soon to take money from an investment, or maybe the marketing project you're working on is too new. It hasn't been launched yet. But everything, it's more right now kind of hidden, like back office stuff. It's not out there in the world yet. When it is, then you'll see the results of your efforts. Now, when it comes to money from career, and that would be like a paycheck, there is some energy here of communicating with your supervisor and all that, because you do have the full moon lighting up that house. So there are some opportunities, but it looks like there's not a connection yet because there's no aspect right now between Mercury and Jupiter. That's going to be coming pretty soon. And so everything may be, like we have to wait until your regular review date, or we have to wait till I'm back from vacation, or there's just seems like a little bit of a delay. Okay, Sagittarius, you are doing this full moon lighting up the top of your chart, making you extremely visible, and that can bring you a better reputation. It can help you meet people. It can help you get a job or a promotion. But you are doing the opposition to Mercury and Saturn right at the base of your chart, which means that you could feel that imposter syndrome, or that you're not ready, or that some block from long ago is holding you back. And that's what needs to be dealt with. That if you say to yourself, all right, I'm not ready for this, and this is too much, then you're not using this energy where you could be saying, okay, this was from my past, or this is why this happened, or this is when I overcame it, and so it doesn't need to be here anymore. That's the things that can free you from something that has been pulling you down for years. Now, when it comes to love relationships, specifically new love, Mars is making a square to Jupiter. There is a major opportunity here to meet someone. You've got a very strong house of communication, so this is a time to reach out to someone, set up a date, meet them for coffee, or go to some social event where you get to talk to a lot of people, because you have some really good energy here. Now, when it comes to existing love relationships, Mercury is not making an aspect with Jupiter, but you have a good area of home and family, so I think that things are going along pretty well. Now, if you don't live with your partner, you still have good energy around communication, so I think that the no aspect means that you're both probably pretty busy, but when you do come together, there's harmony. Now, when it comes to your money, you're pulling money from Saturn, which is very important in this full moon energy. And Saturn is all about the hard work and discipline. And so it says that If you want the money, now you have to do the work. You've had the ideas and you have the inspiration and you certainly have the enthusiasm. So, but now you need to get down and do the step by step, the things that you know need to be done. And when you do, you bring in more money. Now, when it comes to money from business or from investments, the moon's making an opposition to Saturn, so you have a really strong opportunity to make more money over this next 2 weeks. An opposition means that you need to come together and negotiate. That is, you need to do the sales calls, or you need to talk to your broker, or you need to do the things that bring you face to face with the person who has the money, that wants to give you the money for whatever reason. And so that is your opportunity during this time. Now, when it comes to money from career, so that would be like a paycheck, Venus is making a semi-sextile to Saturn. That's a much weaker aspect. You have a good house of communication. However, there may be some problems in that your boss is too busy, or they're on vacation, or you're on vacation, or there's something that is kind of tripping up this process. So you may want to wait, because this aspect will line up much, much better in a few weeks. Okay, Capricorn, you are doing this full moon, lighting up your house of information and writing and teaching and publishing and, what the world has to offer. And this is sitting opposite Mercury, as well as your own chart ruler, Saturn. And so this is about taking the information and grounding it into something practical. And so as you approach information, maybe having a plan, that would be Mercury, and then the Saturn having the discipline to process what you are learning into something that's really usable for yourself. And so this is not a time to just be, gorging on all the information that's out there. And I know it's wonderful that there's so much information out there, but to take really bite-sized pieces and see if the information is really usable for you. Now, when it comes to love relationships, specifically new love, Venus is making a semi-sextile to Saturn. This is not a very strong aspect, and you've got almost everything below the horizon on your chart. So I would say that you could meet someone for a love relationship, but you may not even recognize it. It wouldn't be until weeks later that you then maybe had a second date that you said, oh, yeah, you are the one. So, skip that process and just wait for a few weeks, because this energy will line up quite nicely in the future. Now, when it comes to existing love relationships, the moon is opposing Saturn. That means that the two of you are on opposite sides of an issue, and you need to come together for some sort of negotiation or compromise. And this may be something that you know about, or maybe this is something with your partner that they haven't told you yet. And so it's necessary to have a lot of strong communication this time, because if you work this out, and you really could, because there is an opposition, you could really strengthen this love relationship. Now, when it comes to your money, you're pulling money from both Uranus in your house of creativity, as well as Saturn that figures so prominently in this full moon. And Saturn is about the discipline, about maybe taking everything that you've got, breaking it down into steps, putting it into your calendar, or putting it into your phone with timers or some sort of reminders, because when you do that, when you do the discipline, Saturn rewards you with success. And so that's what's really strong for you this time. Now, when it comes to money from business or money from investments, while the sun is not making an aspect to Uranus, it is making a conjunction to Saturn. So again, we go back to that doing the work, doing the discipline. That's what's going to bring you the money. So following up with customers, looking into investments, talking to your broker, talking to your web designer, getting things done, that is what's going to lead to actual real profits this time. And profits really could be made because you have a strong house of money. Now, when it comes to money derived from career, and so that would be like a paycheck, even though it's just a semi-sextile between Mars and Saturn, so we're looking at co-rulers on both, Mars is in a money house. So you do have some possibilities, at least to get the conversation started, because again, you have a very strong areas, all the areas of communication are very strong in this chart. So this is a time to get the conversation started. It may not complete during this time, but, or because it's a full moon, maybe not starting the conversation, but continuing the conversation. And then as this energy lines up better, which it will in a few weeks, then you'll get the culmination of that energy. Okay, Aquarius, you guys are doing this full moon in your house of resources and power and control, and it's sitting opposite Mercury and Saturn. And so there are so many resources for you available right now, but you may not right now see the practical ways of using that. And so that's a time to sit down and do Mercury, which is the plan, and Saturn, which is the discipline and the follow through. And when you do, then you can see how, your uncle who has this sort of experience could be translated into something that's really useful for your business, or how some government program could connect you to the right people or to the help that you need. So something here, and those were both business things. My mind's always on business. So, but for anything that you're looking at, this is about you looking at all the resources, but then stopping and thinking, how can I use that specific resource for what I need? Now, when it comes to love relationships, specifically new love, there is no aspect going on between Mercury and Uranus, and you've got most of the energy below the horizon. The moon's even in a hidden house. It's like you're not visible. So this is not really the time to be pursuing a love relationship. It's more about focusing on yourself, on how you feel about yourself, getting, stronger about, just your sense of deserving, your sense of value. How you are in the world is first starts with how you feel about yourself. And so shifting that as much as you can towards the positive, based on the true things about you, that's what's going to lead to love relationships in the future. So, and right now the work is here with you first. And then when it comes to existing love relationships, the sun's not making an aspect with Uranus. It is making a semi-sextile. It's making a conjunction to Saturn. It's like 6 times I've done that mistake this time. So it's making a conjunction to Saturn. The two of you are trying to come together to work out something possibly about finances. Maybe you have a disagreement, but the two of you must be united on this. And when you do unite on this, whether it's, like we're going to be frugal, or we're going to save for a vacation, or we're going to focus and make more money, when you do that, you unite as a couple on a lot of different levels. And so that's what to focus on this time. When it comes to your money, you're pulling money from Jupiter at the base of your chart, as well as Neptune that is in your house of money. And that's why I keep talking about money and business with you and not the other things, is because there's so much going on in your houses of money. And so this is about looking at the psychology of money, and what your attitudes are about money, how you feel about money in a spiritual sense. I do think this planet is a little unique in the fact that, you get charged for air and water and all of these other things that should be probably free, So there is this idea that there's a psychology about money, what your beliefs are, how you feel about it spiritually. And so examining those things can help clear blocks and help you make more money. Now, when it comes to money from business or investments, Mercury and Neptune are both in a money house. They're doing a semi-sextile. It's an out of sign semi-sextile, but they're both in the same sign. So there's a lot of harmony going on, and that harmony is increasing. It's going to get better. So that means this is a time to reach out to people that, have said they're interested in your products or services, to talk to your broker or look at your investments. There is some really good energy that's now and lining up in the future. Now, when it comes to money derived from career, so that would be like a paycheck, Jupiter's making a semi-square to Neptune. That's a difficult aspect. There's quite a bit of friction with it. So you have a very strong money house, but you might feel impatient or irritated that things are not happening more quickly. And so be a little careful as you approach your supervisor about a raise, as if your temper shows, that may not be conducive to getting what you want. So if your boss seems to be the irritated one, then give them a little bit of space. You will have this energy for a little while longer, and you will be able to utilize it. And it will, as we get later in the year, it will line up much better. So right now, tread lightly. Okay, Pisces, you are doing this full moon, lighting up your house of other people. Like that, they're the focus right now. But Mercury and Saturn are in your own sign. So you own those energies. And that means that you could be the one telling other people how to treat you and what's a good way for them to contact you or connect with you. You might be saying that this is how, if you want to have some sort of connection with me, this is how you do it. This is my temperament, these are my likes, my dislikes, etc. So kind of a user manual for yourself. So that can be happening. It's also possible you're doing a lot of evaluation of others, where you're deciding whether you want this person or that person in your life, and you are coming up with really concrete reasons for them being there or not being there. It's very structured right now. Now, when it comes to love relationships, specifically new love, you have very strong houses of relationships that we were just talking about. And even though the moon's not making an aspect with Neptune, it's making a lovely trine with Mars. Lovely trine with Jupiter, not a trine with Mars. And so that means you have a wonderful opportunity to meet someone that you really connect with. And so by all means, you need to go out and have a first date or meet new people, go to social events. And I'm saying that while you're doing all of that Pisces energy in your own sign, which means that maybe you're not feeling like going out, but other people can see you when you do. So that is, go out, you will be seen, and then you could connect with someone for a love relationship. Now, when it comes to existing love relationships, again, strong relationship houses, plus Mercury's making an out-of-sign semi-sextile with Neptune while they are in the same sign. I know that's kind of confusing, but they're both in Pisces, but technically we call it out of sign because they're supposed to be 30 degrees apart. Anyway, I don't want to get too technical on this. It's good that you have this Mercury and Neptune in the same sign. That means that the two of you are thinking alike, maybe finishing each other's sentences, you're coming together for a shared purpose, and that purpose seems to support you. So I think your energy for your existing love relationship is quite good right now. Now, when it comes to your money, you're pulling money from Mars, which is in your hidden house of, doing things in the back office, making plans, holding back a little bit. It's sitting there with Venus. And so that is, maybe you've bought new equipment and you have to learn how to use it, or you've started with a new platform. And so you're working on that. Maybe you're updating the website, working with artwork and things like that. So this is all behind the scenes. It looks like it's pretty fun though. And so that's the things that could help you with your business, is getting those things done. Now, when it comes to money from business and money from investments, Venus is making a conjunction with Mars. So good energy, definitely. The interesting thing is the profits seem to be plowed right back in. So that means that the investment goes right back into other investments. The profits for the business go right back into the business, which then is kind of connected to this idea that maybe you have started with a new platform, and so there's a cost to that, or you've bought new equipment. So there is definitely profits, but it seems to be plowed right back into the business. And then when it comes to money derived from career, so that'd be like a paycheck, Mars is making a semi-sextile to Saturn. Not the strongest of aspects, so you could get a raise if you can nail down your supervisor, but it's possible that they are gone, that they are off doing something, or they're on vacation or sabbatical or out having a baby or something. So there's something where the connecting with the person is the big hurdle. But once you do, there is an opportunity to make more money in your career. And that's it. I hope you enjoyed this video. Check out my video course, Finding the Hidden Money in Your Chart. This is a course designed for people who want to learn a little bit of astrology and do a deep dive into their chart about different ways that you could make money. And so it covers 2nd house, 8th house, 11th house. It covers all the planets, also part of fortune, north node, south node, and more. So there's a lot of videos and PDFs. It's a very low price right now, so I hope you check it out. There's a link in the description, and I'll see you in the next video.